What are we really looking for when we talk about knowing ourselves? Do we want to know our personality, our skills, our qualities, our origin, our identity? What is really what we're looking for? We have two options when we start in the search for finding ourselves. The first option is to identify ourselves with the external circumstances, with the world around us, with the people around us, with the things we're doing, with our occupation, with everything that is part of the external world and everything that is part of expressing ourselves. However, the best way to identify ourselves, to get a real understanding of who we are, is to go inward. Because circumstances change. Circumstances can be conditioned to certain things that are only happening in this moment, and they won't give us a good idea of what we're looking for. If you look inward, you'll find the part of you that never changes, the part of you that is always the same regardless of any circumstances. That part that you're looking for is consciousness. There is this minimum particle within you that is always the same, no matter what happens, no matter what you're doing, no matter how old you are, where you live, who you're with. This is something that you can always come back to because it is you. By knowing yourself in this way, knowing your essence, your consciousness, you can always come back to that point and restart and recenter and realign, because we're human and it's part of our journey of self-discovery to go astray, to separate from the path. This is how we find ourselves every time. But once we recognize this consciousness within us, then we can stay on the path, we can expand. Then the journey is not more about finding us, it's about expanding ourselves and getting to know ourselves in a different way. The first part of the journey of finding yourself is just to identify what is this essence, what is the consciousness in me that never changes. What is my authenticity? What do I stand for as a human, as nature? And get to feel and identify that innate consciousness, my instinct, my calling, my interest. What makes me reach a higher level of consciousness when I'm expressing myself in that way? Understanding that allows you to finally switch to the next part of the journey that is about expanding that awareness. In that part, the second part of the journey, you're no longer looking to find that authenticity. You have found it. It's a seed. It might not be 100% clear, but you can feel it. You can understand it in some way. And this next part is about expanding that understanding. In how many ways can I express myself to get to understand this essence in many more ways? If I understood it as I need to help people or I need to be of service in some way, in how many ways can I express that awareness? At first, we will think, oh, my purpose is this particular occupation. But later you will realize that this is just the essence of who you are, and you can express yourself in so many different ways. And you should never limit yourself to one way. And there is nothing wrong with starting again, and there is nothing wrong with having multiple ways of expressing yourself. You don't need to only be an expert at one thing to be good, because the goodness you're looking for is self-knowledge, and that requires that you express yourself in many different ways. to get to know yourself more and more. Don't be afraid to expand. Don't be afraid to express yourself in different ways. Don't be afraid to explore new interests. Simply go with that essence. Wherever it takes you, what you will find will be magical.